What's going on, everybody? My name is Bobby, and I'm just another reactor here on YouTube. Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to another reaction. Today I'm going to be reacting to Crypta, and this song is called Dark Night of the Soul. And in parentheses it says it's a full band playthrough. Now, if I remember right, I believe this song was recommended in one of the comments on one of my reactions. I don't remember where I read it, or if this was just one of those videos I found at random. I've had the tab open for quite a while now, for a few days. But yeah, I think it was a recommendation. But anyway, I looked up a little bit of information on this band. It says they're a Brazilian death metal band. That's what it says on Wikipedia. It's all women. And I also saw on another page that it says they're Brazilian/Dutch death metal band. So I don't know if one or two of the members is from Holland, or I believe Dutch, or from Holland. I believe Floor Jansen from Nightwish is Dutch. If this was recommended to me, I picked it out for some reason. I don't know if somebody told me to check them out. As many of y'all may know, if you watch some of my other reactions, I'm not a huge fan of death metal, but I do like death metal. It's really cool music ever since death metal first started in, I would say maybe in the 80s, maybe 90s, with bands like Cannibal Corpse and Napalm Death and stuff like that. But I believe that death metal has evolved for the better. I mean, bands like Lorna Shore that use like orchestration, and their music is more melodic instead of just fast, let's play as fast as we can. And when I say fast, I don't mean leads. I mean like rhythms and drums. I mean, there's still the blast beats and, but I don't know, just drummers have gotten better nowadays. They do these tricks with their feet where they make their bass drumming, their double bass drumming sound really fast, and the way they move their sticks is really fast, and just really, really evolved since I first heard death metal when I was growing up. Now, I don't know what this band is going to be like. I don't know if they're going to be like old school death metal or more advanced and, more melodic and still have that aggressive death metal style. But I guess we'll find out. It says here that it's on Napalm Records. So I don't think Napalm Records would sign a crappy band, but I don't know. Let's see what happens. Without further ado, this is my reaction to Crypta, Dark Night of the Soul. I forgot to mention it's a full band playthrough. Or did I say that? I don't remember. Okay, so before that breakdown there, which sounded really badass, I have to say, first of all, these ladies are very talented. It does sound like, to me, it sounds like old school death metal, kind of like Possessed or something like that. But they're obviously very talented. If you watch my first Lorna Shore reaction, which is to the Hellfire, I mentioned on there that Will Ramos, for those of y'all that might not know the vocalist name for Lorna Shore, that when he sings that kind of high-pitched, aggressive growl, I mentioned on that reaction that that's not really my favorite style of singing. But then I mentioned later in that reaction that I was impressed with his ability to change from that to low guttural growls and the way they layer his voice in the studio. And I know he's got those playthroughs or where he just sings by himself with the track, and he still sounds amazing even without all the studio layering and all that. But I mentioned that just that high-pitched, aggressive growling, I'm just not too crazy about. And I said in that reaction that, because Will changes his voice and he can change from that high pitch to the low guttural growl like seamlessly, is very impressive. And the more I listen to and react to more Lorna Shore, I've just grown more impressed with his vocal ability, and the band is just freaking amazing. I even said that to the Hellfire reaction. And I said in that reaction that songs that have that high pitch, aggressive growl throughout the whole song, that that's mainly what I'm not too crazy about, that I can't listen to too much of that, one song after the other. And that's pretty much what this song has. This lady here, she just is basically singing with that same style of voice so far throughout this song, but I'm not even halfway through, so she may change it up, I don't know. But stuff like this, even though they're obviously very talented and this sounds really cool, and that breakdown I just heard coming up sounds pretty badass, it's stuff like this where the vocals are pretty much the same style throughout that I just can't listen to too much of, but still an impressive band, really good. That sounds cool there. Well, that was Crypta with Dark Night of the Soul. And first of all, I'm going to say those last two songs I just played there at the end, the little previews, that second one sounded pretty cool. As far as this song, Dark Night of the Soul, I really liked the ending there when it slowed down and just kind of faded out at the end there. That sounded really nice. The song, like I was saying, was really good. These ladies are obviously very talented. One thing I noticed too about the drummer is, I don't know if all of y'all know this, but I used to play the drums. When I used to play, I used to do kind of like some blast beats myself, and the way they're done most of the times that I've seen most drummers do, and people have their different ways of doing them, but the most common blast beat is where you hit the snare drum and the hi-hat at the same time, and then the hi-hat once, and then the snare drum, hi-hat, snare drum, hi-hat, and it's real fast. You're just alternating, just real fast. And what I noticed about this girl, so the hi-hat is just like, and then the snare drum is just dun, 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 so I don't know, you can't see my hands, but it's, so just that kind of beat. And then of course the bass drum is hitting with the hi-hat, and then a lot of times there's double bass drumming in it, so I'm not going to get too technical about it. But what I was going to say, what I noticed about this drummer is where she would be hitting the hi-hat, or where I would be hitting the hi-hat, she was hitting the snare drum, but she was doing it backwards. She was doing the fast part with her snare drum hand and hitting the hi-hat slower, so I can't even do it. So if I was going to play the way she was playing, I would switch my hands and do the fast right hand on the snare drum and do the slower hand on the hi-hat. So she was just doing it backwards, which I've never seen anybody play like that. I don't know if it's because she's left-handed playing on a right-handed drum setup or what. I just don't know, but she was a great drummer, really good. Did some stuff that I never really learned how to do, but also played some beats that I know or knew how to play back when I was playing. But that was good overall. I really like that. If there's anything else by them that you like better than this, or you think sounds just as good as this, or anything live or whatever, let me know in the comments and I'll react to it as soon as I can. But that's going to do it for this reaction. I hope y'all enjoyed it. And if you want to support my channel, there's some links in the description, but donations to my channel are not necessary, but they are greatly appreciated. Thank you for watching my reaction to Crypta, Dark Night of the Soul.